Hagia Sophia. Hagia Sophia is a late antique place of worship in Istanbul, designed by the Greek geometers Isidore of Miletus and Anthemius of Tralles. Built in 537 as the patriarchal cathedral of the imperial capital of Constantinople, it was the largest Christian church of the Eastern Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, and the Eastern Orthodox Church. Hi everyone, welcome back into my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing and give this video a thumbs up. In today's video we are going to learn the history of Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, Turkey. During the Latin Empire from 1204 to 1261, when it became the city's Latin Catholic cathedral. In 1453, after the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Empire, it was converted into a mosque. In 1935, the secular Republic of Turkey established it as a museum. In 2020, it reopened as a mosque. Hagia Sophia was built by the Eastern Roman Emperor Justinian I as the Christian Cathedral of Constantinople for the State Church of the Roman Empire between 532 and 537. The church was then the world's largest interior space and among the first to employ a fully pendentive dome. It is considered the epitome of Byzantine architecture. Epitome meaning elegance and good taste. The Byzantine era is usually dated from 330 AD, when Constantine the Great moved the Roman capital to Byzantium, which became Constantinople, until the fall of the Byzantine Empire in 1453. However, there was initially no hard line between the Byzantine and Roman empires, and early Byzantine architecture is stylistically and structurally indistinguishable from earlier Roman architecture. This terminology was introduced by modern historians to designate the medieval Roman Empire as it evolved as a distinct artistic and cultural entity centered on the new capital of Constantinople, modern-day Istanbul, rather than the city of Rome and its environs. The present Justinianic building was the third church of the same name to occupy the site, as the prior one had been destroyed in the Nika riots. As the episcopal see of the Ecumenical Patriarch of Constantinople, it remained the world's largest cathedral for nearly 1,000 years, until Seville Cathedral was completed in 1520. Beginning with subsequent Byzantine architecture, Hagia Sophia became the paradigmatic Orthodox Church form, and its architectural style was emulated by Ottoman mosques 1,000 years later. It has been described as holding a unique position in the Christian world and as an architectural and cultural icon of Byzantine and Eastern Orthodox civilization. The church was dedicated to the Holy Wisdom, the Logos, the second person of the Trinity. Its patronal feast falls on 25th of December, Christmas, the commemoration of the incarnation of the Logos in Christ. Sophia is the Latin transliteration of the Greek word for wisdom, and, although it is sometimes referred to as Sancta Sophia, Saint Sophia, it is not related to Sophia the martyr. The center of the Eastern Orthodox Church for nearly 1,000 years, it was where the excommunication of Patriarch Michael Cerularius was officially delivered by Humbert of Silvaconjada. The envoy of Pope Leo IX, the head of the Catholic Church and ruler of the Papal States from February 12, 1049 to his death in 1054. Leo IX is widely considered the most historically significant German pope of the Middle Ages. He was instrumental in the precipitation of the Great Schism of 1054, considered the turning point in which the Catholic and Eastern Orthodox churches formally separated. He is venerated as a saint in the Catholic Church. In 1054, an act that is commonly considered the start of the East-West Schism. In 1204, it was converted by the Fourth Crusaders to a Latin Catholic cathedral under the Latin Empire, before being restored to the Eastern Orthodox Church upon the return of the Byzantine Empire in 1261. The Doge of Venice who led the Fourth Crusade and the 1204 sack of Constantinople, Enrico Dandolo, anglicized as Henry Dandolo and Latinized as Henricus Dandulus, was buried in the church. After the fall of Constantinople to the Ottoman Empire in 1453, the church was converted to a mosque by Mehmed the Conqueror. The Patriarchate moved to the Church of the Holy Apostles, which became the city's cathedral. Although some parts of the city had fallen into disrepair, the cathedral had been maintained with funds set aside for this purpose, and the Christian cathedral made a strong impression on the new Ottoman rulers who conceived its conversion. The bells, altar, iconostasis, ambo, and baptistry were removed, and relics destroyed. The mosaics depicting Jesus, his mother Mary, Christian saints, and angels were eventually destroyed or plastered. Islamic architectural features were added, such as a minbar, pulpit, 4 minarets, and a mihrab, a niche indicating the direction of prayer, qibla. It was the principal mosque of Istanbul from its initial conversion until the 1616 construction of the nearby Sultan Ahmed Mosque, the Blue Mosque. The Byzantine architecture of the Hagia Sophia served as inspiration for many other religious buildings, including the Hagia Sophia in Thessaloniki, Bonagia i Konstantinopoli, the Said Mosque, the Suleiman A Mosque, the Rostam Pasha Mosque, and the Kls Ali Pasha Complex. The complex remained a mosque until 1931, when it was closed to the public for 4 years. It was reopened in 1935 as a museum under the Secular Republic of Turkey. According to data released by the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, Hagia Sophia was Turkey's most visited tourist attraction in 2015. The first church on the site was known as the Magna Ecclesia, or the Great Church. It was built next to the area where the Great Palace was being developed. According to the 5th century ecclesiastical historian Socrates of Constantinople, the Emperor Constantius had circa 346 constructed the Great Church alongside that called Irene, which, because it was too small, the emperor's father had enlarged and beautified. A tradition which is not older than the 7th or 8th century reports that the edifice was built by Constantius' father, Constantine the Great. Constantine built Hagia Sophia with a wooden roof and removed 427, mostly pagan, statues from the site. The nearby Hagia Irene, Holy Peace, church was completed earlier and served as cathedral until the Great Church was completed. The church itself is known to have had a timber roof, curtains, columns, and an entrance that faced west. It likely had a narthex and is described as being shaped like a Roman circus. A second church on the site was ordered by Theodosius II. During the reign of Theodosius II, the emperor's elder sister, the Augusta Pulcheria, r. 414–453, was challenged by the Patriarch Nestorius, r. 10th of April 428 to 22nd of June 431. The Patriarch denied the Augusta access to the sanctuary of the Great Church, likely on the 15th of April 428. According to the anonymous letter to Cosmas, the Virgin Empress, a promoter of the cult of the Virgin Mary who habitually partook in the Eucharist at the sanctuary of Nestorius's predecessors, claimed right of entry because of her equivalent position to the Theotokos, the Virgin Mary, having given birth to God. On 23 February 532, only a few weeks after the destruction of the Second Basilica, Emperor Justinian I inaugurated the construction of a third and entirely different basilica, larger and more majestic than its predecessors. Justinian appointed 2 architects, mathematician Anthemius of Tralles and geometer and engineer Isidore of Miletus, to design the building. Hagia Sophia was the seat of the Patriarchate of Constantinople and a principal setting for Byzantine imperial ceremonies, such as coronations. The basilica offered sanctuary from persecution to criminals, although there was disagreement about whether Justinian had intended for murderers to be eligible for asylum. Earthquakes in August 553 and on 14 December 557 caused cracks in the main dome and eastern semi-dome. According to the Chronicle of John Miletus, during a subsequent earthquake on 7 May 558, the eastern semi-dome collapsed, destroying the ambon, altar, and cibarium. The collapse was due mainly to the excessive bearing load and to the enormous shear load of the dome, which was too flat. According to the history of the Patriarch Nicephorus I and the chronicler Theophanes the Confessor, various liturgical vessels of the cathedral were melted down on the order of the Emperor Heraclius, r. 610–641, after the capture of Alexandria and Roman Egypt by the Sasanian Empire during the Byzantine-Sasanian War of 602–628. Theophanes states that these were made into gold and silver coins, and a tribute was paid to the Avars. The Avars attacked the extramural areas of Constantinople in 623, causing the Byzantines to move the garment relic of Mary, Mother of Jesus, to Hagia Sophia from its usual shrine of the Church of the Theotokos Epitome just outside the Theodosian walls. In 726, the Emperor Leo the Isaurian issued a series of edicts against the veneration of images, ordering the army to destroy all icons, ushering in the period of Byzantine iconoclasm. At that time, all religious pictures and statues were removed from the Hagia Sophia. Following a brief hiatus during the reign of Empress Irene, 797–802, the iconoclasts returned. Emperor Theophilus, r. 829–842, had two-winged bronze doors with his monograms installed at the southern entrance of the church. The basilica suffered damage, first in a great fire in 859, and again in an earthquake on 8 January 869 that caused the collapse of one of the half-domes. Around 954 or 955, after the Rus-Byzantine War of 941 and the death of the Grand Prince of Kiev, Igor I, his widow Olga of Kiev, regent for her infant sons Vyacheslav I, visited the Emperor Constantine VII and was received as Queen of the Rus in Constantinople. After the great earthquake of 25 October 989, which collapsed the Western Dome Arch, Emperor Basil II asked for the Armenian architect Dradat, creator of the Cathedral of Ani, to direct the repairs. He erected again and reinforced the fallen dome arch and rebuilt the west side of the dome with 15 dome ribs. The extent of the damage required 6 years of repair